Let's see how much padding we need to add in this column right here so that the content is not so close to the edge of the container. It's about 40 pixels. So we'll just add a padding all around of 40 pixels. For this div, we'll accomplish that by applying another class. We'll call it subpage. We'll create that subpage selector and add a padding of 40 pixels. I didn't have to do padding top, left, right, and bottom separately and say 40 pixels because if I use the padding shorthand, it's understood that when there's one value, it's for all four sides. Let's save our HTML and CSS and see what happens. Now we have a 40 pixel padding all around. And before I forget, let me go ahead and make it so that the padding is not added into the calculation of the width. Now let's start styling the various elements in this section. We'll start with the H2 element. It is 44 points, so we'll make it 44 pixels. It's in italic and it's not in bold. There's also a space of 35 pixels between the H2 element and the paragraph after it. Using all that information, we'll create an H2 selector. Make the font size 44 pixels. Make the font weight normal. Since we don't want it to be in bold, make the font style italic and add a margin to the bottom of 35 pixels. Next, we'll do the paragraphs. These paragraphs are 20 pixels and have a space of about 35 pixels between each one. We will target these paragraphs by creating a selector like this. We'll target any paragraphs that's inside anything with the class subpage applied to it. Start with the font size. We said 20 pixels. And then a space of 35 pixels between each paragraph. Yeah. Margin bottom, 35. Yeah, 35 pixels. Save and refresh. And now we have the correct size and spacing between each paragraph. As I mentioned in a previous video, we are having some special character issue displays here. Or wait, special character display issues. But I am going to leave that to you to hunt them down and change them to their equivalent character entity. The part that I do want to point out in the mockup is that I made it so that it's easier for users to see that there are hyperlinks within the content here. Just looking at it like this, it's not apparent that there would be a hyperlink where it says just contact me. That would be this line right here. To help out your user, we're going to go ahead and put an underline there. Now, depending on how you have your website set up, it could be that you just make it stand out a different way. Maybe it's a different color, or maybe you have it bigger. Whatever the case is, you just want to make sure that you make it easier for your users to spot if something is a hyperlink. Otherwise, they could just miss it. Now, we didn't do that for the header and footer and even this line right here, because most users understand that these are going to be navigation elements. But within the content, that's not very clear. So in my design, I made it to where we underline those things. Let's start by making them hyperlinks. Look for contact me, and I'll just copy this anchor tag here since it will be my email address. And I made it contact me. Okay. So I'll put my closing anchor tag after the word me. And then we'll do the same thing for here. Put my closing anchor tag, save that, and refresh. Now I have them as hyperlinks, but it's making it white to where you can't see it. So we need to do something about that. We will target these hyperlinks by using a selector like this. We'll say text decoration, underline, and then for the color, make it that 6B605C. Save and refresh. And now we have it to where it's clear to users that this is probably some kind of something that's different from the rest of the text because it has an underline to it. And when they hover over it, they'll find that it's a hyperlink. Now it looks like I don't have my hover effect anymore on there to where it changes to red. So I'll go ahead and change or add a hover state to this selector where the color turns red on hover. Okay, so that pretty much completes matching the mockup to our web page, but I want to show one more concept before I complete this series of videos. I want to show you what display flex does for this page. Let's comment this out so that it's not functional. Save and refresh. Looking at this here, or actually, you know what? Let's add that image. That might make more sense. We'll add the second image. I just copied this image, this IMG element, and pasted it after that. And then I'm changing the IMG element to wedding services to .jpeg. Okay, here we go. Here's our second. This is better. I skipped a step. Sorry about that. Okay, so I took out this display flex property on that wrapper class selector that's applied to the parent container to these two columns. Without that, this aside and this div do not have the same height. And because they don't have the same height automatically, this stops right here because that's just how far the content will go for this. Services, the services column is a lot taller, so it's going to continue and then it's just not going to match up. So if I bring that back by picking out the comment so it's effective again, or in effect, save that, refresh, now you'll find that both children within the parent container are making it to where they have equal height. So if it was the other way around, if I put more content in the aside to where it keeps going down farther than this image, then this container will adjust. And it might not be as big of a deal for services because it has a white background, but that would be more apparent if this had a different background color to it, kind of like what you saw here when the two didn't match. Okay, so that completes Lab 4B. Your next step then is to review Lab 4B submission instructions.